All right, baby. We in here. B Clay, Carl Reed. Hey, we on the Coach Reed Live show tonight. I got my guy Brandon Clay with me. Smoke is gonna join us at some point, Clay, but like a typical Alabama guy, you know what I mean? He's gonna try to make a special entrance. You know, he's gonna come in a little bit late. He got Smoke actually has a mentor group
That's awesome.
that he mentors some kids out of DC, and they got Pat White is the keynote speaker tonight. So Smoke's gonna be a little late dealing with that. We got a big guest, Sharman White from Team USA,
The
right?
man, by the way.
The man.
Absolutely.
How many state championships did he win as a high school coach?
Or I don't know. He's still rolling. He's got to be in like the 5-6 area at this point. We got to ask him to get on the show. Things that I should know. I mean, we go back to Tony Parker, Miller Grove, Altery, Gilbert. Literally, as long as I've been on the grassroots scene, Sharman White has been him. Like, it's amazing to think about how quickly, it's happened. But it's been 20 years. Like, it feels like it was just yesterday. I remember being at the Gwinnett Arena down the street here from the office and watching Sharman get one. And there was a year where he wasn't coaching and Miller Grove won another one. And then he came back and had Altery Gilbert. So big shout out to Tony Parker, Altery Gilbert, and just the whole run of guys that he had at Miller Grove and now at Pace, Wendell Carter Jr. I mean, you name it, right? These are big time guys. And not to mention the Team USA basketball stuff with the U17s. I can't. Sharman's one of the good ones, man. I just – I hate to name a number one in anything, right? But he's one of the 5 best in the country at what he does on a daily basis. He does a fantastic job. Y'all will enjoy hearing from Sharman White.
So just we got Sharman coming on. Let's me and you first. Let's get into Team USA. A lot of talk about, obviously Kawhi is no longer with the group. And did Jaylen Brown deserve to be on there, B?
Okay, I get it. We want a guy at the end of the bench who's low maintenance, yada, 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 yada. That man just won finals MVP. He's in the prime of his career. You took the other guy on his roster, and you took Drew Holiday. You now have taken 3 Boston Celtics, and you didn't take Jaylen Brown. It really is the ultimate slap in the face. Like, it's wild.
What's the beef?
I mean, it's like anything else. You got conspiracy theories all over the place. He spoke out against Phil Knight and Nike. And, there's all kinds of stuff you can point to. But at the end of the day, Jaylen Brown deserves to be on that ride. If you're going to take 3 guys from the team that just won the world championship and you have the finals MVP who averages 20-plus a night, 5+ a night. So it's not like he, played his way into it with a great series, Andre Iguodala, right? With all due respect to Iggy. Great series, plays his way into that. Jaylen Brown is that guy every night for the Celtics. Whether you want to say it's him or Tatum, they're the 2 lead dogs. Drew, Derek White, and those guys play quality roles. So to not include him is just, what's the Isaiah Thomas line on The Last Dance? I thought I met the criteria. I hate it for Jaylen Brown. I thought he deserved to be there, man. He's had a great run, too. Finals MVP, Gondrasek on his arm. He rolling. I guess something had to go wrong. It can't go right for you all the time. Sorry, Jaylen.
This is not like the Caitlin Clark argument that y'all have.
No, it's different. So you talk about winning, right? You talk about winning, Reed. Jaylen Brown won.
Yeah.
You won. Like, he literally won and was the best player on the floor, or one of the 2 best players on the floor, especially American-born players, right? Throughout the series, and he doesn't get rewarded for winning. You should be mad.
Finals MVP, winning the finals, like just that whole deal. He's supposed to be there. Winning is something I place a high value on. B, if you win, I think that you deserve the respect that a winner gets. And regardless of what happened with Kawhi, I feel like he should have been on the team anyway.
Absolutely.
And I don't get that part of it, but I'm not the person who has the criteria for that. So I'm not sure what it is at that point.
Well, and I think, and again, you go on for this stuff for days and circle the wagons, but even if it's a Kyrie Irving or a Jalen Brunson, I love Derek White. I have an affinity toward dudes that do their job in role-playing situations at any level, but especially at that level, and do it to a high level. And Derek White has done just that. But to leave some of the guys home that were left home, I don't know how you explain that. And Grant Hill's one of the smoothest dudes I've ever been around. such a cool dude. He can make you feel like you're the Hall of Famer, and he's the regular person. He's just that nice of a guy. And to see him even struggle a little bit to deliver the reasoning behind it, just an interesting situation. I'll leave it there, but an interesting situation all the same. But they do such a good job. Like Team USA, and we'll talk about this with Sharman, even down to the youth level, it's almost so flawless that it's rare that you even have this argument to be made. But here we are, man. Here we are.
So you're just getting back yourself from Ohio from a tournament for your travel club. How did it go? What was the talent? I see another big weekend for Kate Harping, but who are some of the future stars? You know, we got this huge wave coming about women's basketball, and I'm not going to go too deep in the women's basketball till Smoke, Angel Reese's #1 hater, gets on here in a little bit.
It's a weekly. He's not letting Angel Reese. He's not
letting her cook, man. He's not letting her be great. So, but from a standpoint of what you saw this weekend, what were some of the things that really stood out to you?
Special shout out. First of all, I love the fact that you know who Kate Harping is. You now are one of the masses, and I love it. I think she put on big special shout out to the folks that selected this. Thought they did a great job. Hamilton, Ohio is kind of like a random place, suburb of Cincinnati, if you will, but beautiful facility up there. 28 floors under one roof. Housing, lodging, all within 5 miles. It's really nice, and there's select events, the Summer Classic and Super Showcase, a couple different events there, and they add there's a kid named Sanaya Hall, from right there out of the Midwest, 2026 kid, top 5 in the country. Reed, I just sent you a highlight package they did on her. Mm-hmm. She can handle it. Bless the kid's heart. She dropped somebody with a crossover and then splashed a 3. She just is a do-it-all guard. Her team, actually, Legends, is #1 in the league that they've got up there. It's a national league. They play during the summer. They're a #1 seed, and a large part of that is due to Sanaya Hall. I loved her out in Colorado at USA. Great basketball player. Speaking of Colorado, Bree Crittenden, another 26. The event was loaded with really good 26s. I'll get into this a little bit more on my show actually tomorrow. But, love Crittenden, plays for a team called Colorado Lockdown. That's another kid that you would like. Smoke probably wouldn't like her. She has some similarities to Angel Reese. And then obviously, last but not least, I want to talk about Harper, but I also want to talk about another kid in the club in the 26 class named Lydia Ledford, who really has stepped her game up and was a key factor on the black roster and is going to get some traction this coming week. And then obviously Harper had a 30-piece against actually Colorado Lockdown, and then 27 against match rivals, and what was one of the games of the week. There were several really good games, but those two played at a different level, and a lot more to come this week on 24/7 Sports, on Prospects Nation, and then obviously on the Brandon Clay Scouting Show. So excited about it. And then Reed, I get back on the road Thursday morning. I'm headed to Chicago, and I'm looking forward to rolling, and then I'll get a chance that following week to get up to Rock Hill, Charlotte, and hopefully link up with our good friend Trey Scott and be able to spend some time doing that too.
So, who, from a recruiting standpoint now, who's in the lead? Like what college team right now has the best recruiting class, the best ranked class? Who can we expect that's really going to deliver on signing day on the women's side?
What's interesting, you look at the 25 class as a whole early, and out of the top 3 kids, you've got Sienna Betts, who we actually saw this week. She was on site. What a fantastic, best front court prospect, and right now it's not close in that class. She's committed to UCLA. Her sister Lauren already plays there. You've got Aaliyah Chavez out of Texas that we talked about a little bit here on the program, but we'll talk more about as we get into the summer. She's uncommitted with still a large list. And then you've got Jazzy Davidson from out of Oregon, who's also uncommitted right now with a pretty large list. And nobody has multiples, right? So Betts is going to UCLA. There's a kid out of California, Addie Deal, who plays on the same club team with Jazzy Davidson. It's going to Iowa. I like her game a lot. But Mia Paldo, who I just watched, and her sister Maya out of Jersey, they're going to Tennessee. So it's kind of a lot of one-offs, right? Haley Swain right now is going to Stanford. She's a top 10 caliber kid in the class. So a lot of kids, but nobody really has multiples just yet. So still pretty early, at least in my opinion. I like to let it get a little crisp in the air, man. A little cool outside, almost that good football weather. Not that 0-week football weather, first week football weather. It's still hot outside, Reed. You go to a game outside, it's still 95. It's that mid to late 70s. You know the vibe, man. Mm-hmm. Friday night, even Saturday afternoons there in St. Louis back when you were with the legendary ball coach getting your C Spurrier on. I like to see that before I start to make those assumptions on what classes are going to look like. But a lot of people in the mix, and they're just some different people too. You're getting, UCLA is a great example. Southern California, you're seeing people from coast to coast that haven't been preeminent programs in years starting to turn in class after class at a high level. Be interesting to see what Tennessee does in their resurrection now with the brand new staff, and can they take that next step? Iowa, can they stay there? And right now, all those people are recruiting at a pretty high level, and that's evident by the commitments that they're getting here.
When you talk about, like, I hear you say UCLA, USC, and some of those programs, has NIL changed the women's game the way that it has for football, where it's hard for your traditional powers to keep a roster stacked with a bunch of pros because kids want to play, they had an opportunity to play, they can transfer in and out, at their leisure, and they can also get paid. Has that had the same impact?
No, not yet, and I don't know that it will. Right? I think a lot of the ascent of Southern California, the ascent of UCLA is really just due to the leadership. Corey Close has done a great job. Lindsey Gottlieb's done a great job. It's still Los Angeles, man. Like, I want to go to school if I'm a kid. A lot of those kids are from Los Angeles. You look at Juju Watkins and Kiki that are at USC right now. Those kids are LA kids. Obviously UCLA has been able to tap in, whether it's the best kid out of Colorado, whether it's Kiki Rice from the other side of the world. And obviously there are tons of opportunities out there from an NIL perspective that you might not get playing at, say, in Iowa. But then there are tons of opportunities at Iowa where LA doesn't have local grocery stores like that, right? You don't have local stuff. Everything's pretty national in that regard. And so, I just think very different ways to go about it. And I think everybody's got a kind of a segment and niche market, and people have done a good job of attacking those things. So, no, I haven't seen that across the board. But I think even to the football point, Reed, and I know it's about time to get Sharman on. I'm excited. But even to the football point, you look at, who's winning right now in the space, and it's still Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State. They were winning before NIL was legal, right? Yeah. They're still kind of winning now. So I think until we get an emergence of, and even a Missouri, I know that's the home, but you got to give Drake a lot of credit. He's done a good job there. So, I don't know that the NIL is playing as big a part from a masses perspective. Maybe there are a couple of institutions that are figuring out how to maneuver, and maybe it's not as stockpiled 3 deep anymore, but at least for now, the juggernauts on both sides continue to be the juggernauts.
B, we're going to bring Sharman on, and I'm going to let you do the introduction because he's a legend from down in your zone, the ATL, the 30 South, as they call it. Now, me personally, I'm going to tell you, Atlanta is one of my least favorite places to visit, and I'm going to tell you why. All right? And I'm going to bring Sharman on here. It's one of my least favorite places to visit.
That's tough.
That's tough.
There's so much traffic in Atlanta.
Fair.
Right?
Fair.
Listen, I'm going to tell you right now.
I can't knock you on that one.
If you're watching us tonight and you're from another city and you're thinking about moving, and I know Atlanta and Houston, you got all these places. You can't move to Atlanta. There's no more room.
And there's still plenty of houses.
We full.
They full down there. They have no room in Atlanta for you guys to win. Guys, make sure you like, share, subscribe, jump on the YouTube page, and you could put those questions in the comments. We always answer whatever some of y'all wild questions are. And B, I'm gonna let you introduce our guest, man, because I'm excited to talk to this brother here.
I got you. Let's start with this. Legendary. A lot of times we give people flowers as they age out. My man is in his prime right now. He's really rolling and been a fixture on the scene since I got in. Sharman White, in a lot of ways needs no introduction. Really has helped bring USA basketball, on the heels of Don Showalter. We'll get into some of that. And then legendary coach, whether it's Miller Grove, whether it's Pace right now, obviously had a stint at Georgia State. And we're going to touch on all that. But there aren't a lot of people that I would want to go to dinner with in this space. I like them, but, man, it's cool. You see him, you say what's up, and then you ride out. Sharman White's a dude, man. Every time we see each other, we just rap for 15 to 20 minutes, and then one of us got to go. It's like, all right, I got to go. But we just chop it up and get to it, man. Sharman, welcome to the show tonight, man.
Hey, man, thank you for having me, man. Always good to be around good brothers, and thank you again.
So how many state titles is it actually?
It's 10.
See, I was short. Reed, I was short. I knew he was rolling, bro. Like, Now, are we? Can we count the one where you were in the stands with me that night at Gwinnett Arena and they all rushed? Can we count that arena?
That one too.
Okay, so that makes us at 11. Okay, we counting that one. I can't even do the story justice, but I'm going to try. So I'm sitting at Gwinnett Arena. Sharman's like right in front of me. Miller Grove wins the title. And the buzzer had barely sounded, and the whole team sprints over there to him. I've never seen anything like it. You would have thought he was on the sidelines that night, and they all celebrated together. And obviously, since then, he's won even more. But that was, I call them signature moments, right? Whether it's a player or a coach or something I see. And that, for me, to you, Sharman, that was your signature moment where it's like, this guy's the real deal. That those guys thought enough of you in that moment as the buzzer's literally sounding to hightail it over and make sure you were a part of the festivities, man.
Yeah, man, that was a phenomenal group. And I had been through the wars with them. And, it was unfortunate I wasn't able to for, that reason that it was some BS. But I mean, it was part of the process for me. And it was part of my whole growth as a coach and as a person. And, just to see their reaction, because you never know, what I mean? As a coach, you think you're doing all the right things. You think you're saying all the right things, and you think you're, doing right by the kids, which you make sure that that's something that you strive to do. And then, sometimes, I've seen it go the other way for other guys. But for me in that moment, those guys that, it was a really, really, like you said, it was a moment, it was a moment in time, and it motivated me. It motivated me more than you can ever believe, because after that, we ran off like 7 straight state championships with me there on the sidelines and get to pace and run off 3 out of 4. And so it never stopped to me. That moment still lives on, but it just lives out through my work.
That's awesome. I love that. Talk to us a little bit about USA basketball. I do want to get into pace, but let's start with USA, fresh off the gold medal, another one. How many gold medals do you have now with USA? And then I'm going to come back to you and Don Showalter.
I got 6.
Reed, I'm telling you, Sharman White is really him. Y'all not understanding. And he's just so humble about it, right? You heard, look, I would have had all my chains on tonight, held the rings up. He's just cool. Give me the dynamic between you and Don. I know there was, in a great way, kind of a passing of the torch, but he still is very involved. Walk me through maybe not day to day, but week to week, with how y'all go about selecting. You got the mini camps. I don't feel like y'all ever miss anybody. There's never somebody that should be in the mini camp process who doesn't eventually wind up there. How do y'all do that?
Well, me and Showalter, we go way back. We were speaking. I'll tell you how I met him. Tony Parker, one of my former players at Miller Grove, went on to play at UCLA, McDonald's All-American. He was selected for one of the first teams that they made with the U16 team. He was selected for the first team that they had, and went on and won a gold medal with Coach Showalter. And I didn't know Showalter from anybody, just besides that he coached that team. And Tony played the 17s with him as well. He made the U17 team as well. And so me and him we were speaking at a clinic in Chicago, and we just happened to cross paths. And he said, "Let's go to dinner," and he needed a ride to the airport the next morning. So after we ate dinner, the next morning, I had a rental car, and I gave him a ride to the airport. Bono went to the airport. He said, we'd be interested in, bringing you out for USA basketball. Because I had asked before, like, how do you get involved with that? But I was just asking. I didn't have, I didn't have no clue about it, that it could happen or whatever. I just asked. And so later that fall, because that was in September, I get a call from BJ Johnson, who at the time was the director or the assistant director. And he asked me, would I come out for a mini camp and work a mini camp? And I was like, sure. And so I'd come out there and I worked the mini camp. I can remember all who was there. I remember it was Jason Tatum.
Was that that was the 2014 fall mini camp?
Yeah,
am I right?
Yeah,
that thing was loaded. Theo Pinson, all the boys was out there, man.
It was so loaded.
Yeah. Oh, that thing was crazy. Bam Adebayo was out there. De'Aaron Fox. That thing was wild.
Josh Jackson and Jason Tatum were going at it, man. It was unreal.
Yes, sir.
I think they carried that competitiveness everywhere they went, because they end up going against each other in some other things. And I remember seeing in the McDonald's game, I remember seeing them going at it later in 2016. But Yeah, so I worked the mini camp. At the end of the mini camp, I was, I just went out there and, had a lot of energy and, did whatever they told me to do. And so after I get back from mini camp, I get a call from BJ Johnson. And he said, "Hey, we want to know if you'd be interested in working on the staff for the U16 that's going to go compete in Argentina this summer." And I couldn't believe it. I remember exactly what I was in Miller Grove, walking down the hallway, answering the phone call from BJ Johnson. And I can remember exactly where I was when he asked me that, because I could not believe it. And I took it and I went on. I coached Showalter and Miles Simon, and we won the gold medal in Argentina. And I was set to come back for another year, but then that year, 2016, was a banner year for Miller Grove, and I was offered a position at Georgia State as assistant coach, and so I took that. Therefore, it kind of nullified me being able to do it for the U17s. But to make a long story short, me and Showalter, we he's like a mentor to me. We were talking today, as a matter of fact. We called and just checked in today. But we worked together. I kind of got the blueprint from him, just being around him. And so when I came back from Georgia State and I went right back to USA when I got to Pace Academy, just making sure I understood the blueprint, because the way this thing happened was kind of weird, man. Because Mike Jones was the heir apparent to Coach Showalter, and we had worked together previously, and we won a gold medal in Brazil in 2019, and then 2020 was COVID, and so 2021 came around, and I was scheduled to work with Mike again as his assistant, and then he got the Virginia Tech associate head coaching job, and basically they said, well, Sharman, you're gonna be the guy, and that's what it's been since then. So like me and Showalter, we work together. They do a lot of the scouting. They go out, they watch the talent. And if I see somebody, I'll go out, where it's possible. I can go out, if they're having some kind of camp or some type of AAU tournament, I'll go out and watch. But they kind of do a lot of the scouting and the talent. And, they bring those kids to minicamp. We meet several times before minicamp. We talk about the different kids, what they bring, what we want to do with them, what the goal is for the minicamp. And so we'll do all of that, and then we'll meet with the coaches. I'll meet with the coach, tell them, hey, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. These are some things we want to really emphasize. And we try to make it so it's very organized, structured, and they also get a chance to be evaluated. And so we do those mini camps. We do them in the fall. We do them at the site of the Final Four every year. And then, we've done them in the summer as well. We kind of cut back from that. It was a lot for the kids, because they'll be coming right off of AAU, coming right back. And generally, if you look at how the European model is, man, they practice 5 days a week and they play once. And we practice one time a week, and we play five times a week. You know what I mean? So it's a big difference. And so we figured we better just kind of like back off of that. So we took away that summer one, and I thought it worked out well. Give these kids a chance to kind of rest themselves and get ready for the high school season.
Coach, you said something right there, on the European model of practicing 5 times a week and playing once versus our thing of practicing once and playing 5 times. I'm kind of seeing that attitude taken not just across basketball, across a lot of sports where we playing a lot of games. You've been state champion, you coached at the Division I level, you got USA basketball. What's your recommendation to AAU coaches or the youth coaches on how they develop guys, for the next level versus playing in a bunch of tournaments?
I think it's got to be a balance, because, AAU is designed to give kids exposure. I mean, I tell people all the time, like, I'm not an AAU basher, because I think it presents opportunities for kids. And the reason why I say that is because I'll have some coaches come to work out for us. I mean, maybe 5 on a good day, but there's no way I can get them in front of 70 coaches at one time in one setting. And so that's where AAU is a bonus and a plus. Just like there are good high school coaches and there are bad high school coaches, some good AAU programs and some bad AAU programs. I mean, it's all around. But I think the key is, can you balance development, or can you balance teaching kids how to play with the amount of games you're playing. And one thing that the shoe companies have started to do, which I've kind of, taken note to as well, is they're stopping with the 3-4 games a day thing. They're kind of going one game a day, maybe two max. They'll do one game on Friday, two on Saturday, one on Sunday, and they're out, And I think that, again, speaks to the fact that, you would be amazed. I know you guys heard of P3, but we got a partnership with them over at Pace, and they'll tell us, like, kids will come in there, like some of the pre-draft guys, and when they test them, they test their bodies and test their knees and the joints and the ligaments. It's like those kids have been in the league already like 6 or 7 years, the amount of basketball, the wear and tear on their bodies. And so I think, again, it's just a matter of balance. We got to figure out how to balance, and balance better. Instead of being at playing 5 times, and practice 1, maybe you practice 2 and you play 3, or you practice 3 and you play 2, like something along those lines. But I think we got to find a balance. And I think it's something that can be done, but it's got to get away from the aspect of, people taking it as if, okay, this is a last chance, a last stop chance type of deal, because it's not really that. It's more so like just trying to preserve and try to give kids the best opportunity to be successful.
Absolutely. Well, I think, Sharman, to that end, as someone who's on like every side of the gamut, right? I don't coach high school anymore. I leave that to the good folks like you. But, having a club program, and just come back from Ohio, to your point, played 1 Friday, 2 Saturday, 2 Sunday, 1 Monday, but trying to balance that, it's a job fair in a great way, right? Like, to your point of, we played a game against the mass rivals, shout out to them. And, there were 60 college coaches on that singular game if there was one. I could never create that stage for those kids except to play a great team from a different region. But we're in the gym every Friday night and Saturday morning, all spring long, getting ready. And most of them play for really good high school coaches such as yourself on the girls' side. And so they're prepared, right? And so just to your point, trying to find the balance. Obviously, we'll never come up with the exact answer, right? We would need everybody to be as good as you are at their job, and everybody to be as good as Reed was coaching football. And obviously that's a hope, not necessarily something that's achievable. But I do think, and this leads me to my next question for you, is why does it matter so much to you that you went back to the high school level instead of staying at the college level? I know you're a big development guy, whether it is, Wendell Carter, whoever it happens to be. Why does that matter? And walk us through what that looks like for you.
For me, the college thing was something I aspired to do. I mean, it was one of my goals. I wanted to coach college. And I had a couple opportunities prior to when I actually took the one at Georgia State, but Georgia State one just felt right. And it was a safe move. I didn't have to, move my kids to a different school or to a different state, or I could stay where I was staying at. And everybody knew me in the state, so I could go in any gym and have an opportunity to recruit and sign kids, which is what I did. It was different parts of it that I really, that I had challenges with. And it wasn't really the aspect of coaching college basketball, because that the game is the game. I mean, and you learn and you try to evolve with it, even at that level. But like, I was missing like my kids' stuff. Like I was always traveling. I was always on the road. So I was missing my son's basketball games, my daughter cheer competitions. And, like, you have to figure out what you value. And I value, I didn't want to wake up one day and they were like 16 and 17. And I'm like, okay, what happened? Like, where did this time go? And I'm out chasing a kid that's probably not going to commit, especially in this day and age. If I ain't got a bag that's big enough, they definitely ain't going to commit, no matter how much I sit there and spend time in the gym.
Hold on real quick, guys.
You bring a Smoke in?
The number one hater is here.
Oh, let's go, Smoke.
This is so when I bring Smoke in, Smoke is the number one hater in the country of Angel Reese, right? He played at Alabama. He played football at Alabama, but he is one of the guys that read his own ACT. He's not one of the guys. All right, here we go. Smoke, what up, baby?
What's good with it, fam?
What's
listen,
up?
I'm an up north cat, so I didn't even take the ACT. I took the SAT. I got a 10. So I wasn't one of them guys, man.
That's hilarious. Hey, Sharman, keep talking to us about the time and kind of just how you were able to move that. And what does that look like for you on a daily basis, even at pace, even with the USA commitments, on a Monday before the season gets started? What time are you able to get out of there? What do y'all do with your skill workouts? Give me the rundown, and we'll let Smoke jump in after that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a well-oiled machine. We got a schedule that we plan out way ahead of time, and we, like in the fall, we're in the gym, we're development. I mean, we're in there early mornings, we're in there late evenings. We're trying to get kids 4 to 5 times, touch them 4 to 5 times a week. That includes that does not include their weightlifting and strength conditioning that we have them doing as well. So we do a lot of touching in the fall, and then we get to the season. Again, they got class, and Pace is one of them academic rich institutions, so they gotta manage their time, and that's what I love about it though, because it prepares them. We got kids that go to college now, like Matthew Cleveland went to Miami, or he went to Florida State to start with, but now he's at Miami. But I remember when he went to Florida State after the first semester, they come back home, they hoop with the guys, and I would ask him, I said, how is it going academically? He was like, Coach, it's easy. Pace got me ready. And so that's a benefit to it from all that strength, that rigor. But when they get to college, it's like, man, this is, and I've heard that over and over and over again from our guys. They like, man, Coach, I'm good, and that's a big bonus to it. But like I said, they have to manage that time. And so, we got a lot of basketball stuff going on, but we've got to manage, and time management is a skill. It's not something that you just know how to do. It's a skill that you got to, develop, because if everybody knew, like, if I wish my son had it right now, but he don't have it right now. But he gonna be ace one, and that's what but it's a skill that he has to develop. It's not something that I can just sprinkle on him, and so it's gonna take trial and error and what have you. But he'll be fine. He'll get it.
To that end, Smoke, so give you a reference here, an analogy you'll appreciate. Where Sharman is in Pace, there are several really good private schools right there in that corridor on I-285. It would be like the WCAC up there, at DeMatha, St. John. So he's got Pace. There's Marist, Carl. That's where Kate Harpring goes, is to Marist. You've got Westminster. You got Holy Innocents. You got a bunch of places right there in a very small geographic area. And if you go there, it doesn't matter where in the country, they're going to put you academically. You want to have a chance to be successful if you learn that time management, because those places were way above my pay grade as a student, man. I couldn't.
Me too.
I put the apps in, and they was like, denied, man. But yeah.
They didn't even get to my app. They just said, go ahead on, man. Stop playing.
I love it. Smoke, talk to us, man. How was the mentoring, man? Give us the rundown.
Man, you know what? So I just finished up with Pat White. Remember Pat White, West Virginia quarterback.
Incredible quarterback.
Incredible quarterback from Daphne, Alabama. Just sharing some stories with the young people about just perseverance and pushing through and understanding that your destiny is your destiny, regardless of who wants it to be something else. Long as you understand who you are and what you want out of it, put in the work as you have to, and understand when things don't go your way, still push through, because he's one of the first dual threat quarterbacks that, when getting recruited, he got recruited as a DB and a receiver. West Virginia, like you said, was the only one that gave him that true opportunity to play quarterback. Multi-sport athlete, baseball player, goes through college, has an incredible college career. Gets drafted in the second round by the Miami Dolphins and still gets put in that same box of you have to be the wildcat quarterback. Now, for me, I'm going to say whoever drafted him in the second round and wanted him just to be a wildcat quarterback, they should have got fired the first day.
Smoke want everybody fired.
Smoke want everybody fired.
You want everybody fired. That's his favorite thing to say.
Well, we all know that we can't have a job that we're not doing real good at and keep on with the same thing, because everybody else's family is going to suffer. So you might as well move the person that's garbage at it on out. Right? So when you take a quarterback in the first or second round, you will have hopes of this young person becoming a starter for you. Now, what level of a starter? That's all on him. But you can't draft a guy in and just say, hey, we're going to give you 1 year to play and then send you out of there when you don't develop into it. But it was a refreshing story just to give young people about just staying with it. You know, jumping the boat is not the first thing when something doesn't go right for you. You got to stick it out, hard work, perseverance, and you'll get to what you need to get to.
Smoke, I want to circle the perseverance piece and come back to Sharman to the 2014 minicamp we talked about earlier. Tatum, Jackson, loaded, right? Talk to us about Harry Giles. You talk about perseverance, the couple knee injuries. He was even more highly. I remember watching a healthy Harry Giles, a 1 ACL Harry Giles, and even a 2 ACL Harry Giles, and he was still really, really good, but he's always going to have that kind of what could have been moment. Talk to us about Harry Giles, man.
Man, Harry Giles was that dude. I mean, he really was. And the good part about it, I got to see it up close because Al Tariq, my point guard during those years, they played with CP3 together. So I would go down to Peace Jam or I would go to where they were playing AAU to follow Al Tariq, but I got a chance to get a courtside view of Harry Giles. This was even before he got to USA. So I was able to kind of like see him without the ACL and then, like you said, with 1 and then with 2. But even when he had after the first one, he still reascended himself back to the top of the charts. And like I say, man, he 6'10" and he was versatile and he had, could shoot it, could play inside. I mean, it had that competitive fire and that competitive edge. But yeah, man, Harry Giles was and then like in that mini camp, I mean, he was tremendous. I mean, like it was no question he was probably the best player on the floor. Josh Jackson made a good run at it though. I'm gonna tell you that.
Okay, so I got a story from the mini camp. So I had gotten back to the boys' side, man. Got to throw a shout out to my guy Sean Williams on the Radar Hoops. And Sean and I were working together on some boys stuff, and so I get out there. Taking notes the first day, as I always do. Peyton Pritchard was out there too. Yep. Peyton Pritchard looked like a throw-in. Like when you looked at him at that point, like, oh, they just tossed this kid in. And I remember texting a couple of my buddies that night, like, yo, man, this little white kid from Oregon. He kind of nice with it. I had no idea he would be a world champion, but here we are. And I'm watching, and Jason Tatum's good, man. Jason Tatum's good. And the first night I put down, I like Tatum, can't wait for tomorrow, Allen Houston. That was literally my eval the first night. We come back to the gameplay the next day. And he gets going because they didn't play fives like that. They played 1 game of fives. Yeah. And the next day they get going and he gets it because he was shooting it smooth, looked like Allen Houston. And the next day they let him start rocking in gameplay. And he got up on somebody's head. And I literally I left Allen Houston where it belonged because that part was correct. I put Allen Houston, I put period with real athleticism, period. And that became the eval for me with Tatum as someone who could shoot the cover off the ball, but was an absolute phenomenal athlete in terms of the open floor, transition, his skill set, and all that kind of stuff. And that was my biggest takeaway, honestly, from the mini camp was that this white kid from Oregon, Peyton Pritchard, could be pretty good. We ended up representing this is for Lexi later, and that Jason Tatum went from being Allen Houston to Allen Houston with athleticism. And I put I changed the grade from what was a 4 or 5 first night to a 5+, which means future pro and potential Olympian. And he proved me right, man. Thanks, Jason.
Hold on a second.
Don't move off of what he's about to say.
I'm not. I'm a lover. I know what's coming, and I can't wait, man. I can't wait.
Did you really get on here and just call Jason Tatum Allen Houston? Listen. You my boy. I don't want to have to say you can't come to St. Louis no more, man. You know what I mean? I don't want to listen.
That's a man opinion, man.
No disrespect to Allen Houston, by the way. Okay. Jason Tatum, Allen Houston.
I would say more.
Hey, smoke. Let me get this.
T-Mac for me.
Okay, hold on. I watched the kid Sharman. The mini camp session be like 90 minutes, man. I literally watched the kid for 90 minutes. I'm comparing him to a pro and someone who at his height. I got the stats pulled up right in front of me. Someone who at his height had a 10-year run in which he averaged 18 plus points a night in the NBA. You can't be mad at me for that after 90 minutes, my G. You got to let me ride, dog. 90 minutes in, I compared you to a 10-year pro and one of the best shooting guards in the league at the time of which he was at his prime. Come on, man.
Sharman, I'm gonna take you down a rabbit hole right here because we got my favorite hater in here smoking. You see him in there drinking out his juicy box every once in a while. When he those are the kind of juices I put in my son's lunchbox. You know, when he go to school, my son's 10 years old. You know what I mean?
Gotta get my electrolyte, champ.
Now you're a 10-time state champion, a Division I coach, and a coach of Team USA. Should Caitlin Clark have been on the Olympic team for the women?
I mean, it depends how you look at it. I mean, it's ways you can say yeah, and then it's ways. I mean, if you want,
coach, get out the middle of the road, coach.
Okay, all right. If it was me, if I was selecting, no.
My man.
Smoke. Talk to us, Smoke.
All right, coach. Okay. Are you basing this because you can get on that? You can get on that crew too that should be relieved of their duties. Are you of the understanding? Or do you make is this a basketball decision or this is a global understanding of what the women game needs?
I think it's a basketball decision because, like I said, man, it's a lot of she can hoop, but it's hoopers in the WNBA. It's not like it's non-hoopers. So the people that she it's some people that didn't get picked that I thought should have got picked on that squad. Like, so for her not to make it, it's some what's the girl name with the Mississippi State like Dallas what's her name? Got the African name.
Letterman.
Well, yeah,
no, Notre Dame, yeah. But yeah, plays for Dallas. You're right. No, you're good.
Been on there.
Yeah, agree.
Been over there, like it's like to me. But like I said, if you want if you want to, you know how that team is gonna do what they're gonna do with or without Caitlin Clark. It's not. She's not gonna be the difference in it.
Agree.
I mean, if you want the you know the extra that goes with it, so be it. But from a basketball perspective, I think they got it. I think they hit it. I think they hit it where they need to hit it at.
I just know those games aren't going to be on prime time. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah. Listen, Smoke is and it's great because I love Caitlin Clark, and you know my personal humble opinion is I would have found a way to include her in the Olympics in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Whether that was 3-on-3 or the 12-person 5-on-5 roster, and because she's good, I mean, especially the past 3 or 4 weeks, you've watched the ascension. I would have done it.
Angel Reed's been good.
We agree on that. We also think she should be in the mix too.
Yeah, so like that's what
you got to say about that.
It's so many talented women play. Like it's the WNBA is at a credible clip right now.
Okay,
like,
so here, hey, Sharman, here's so Smoke and I think are on the same page with at least this piece of it. You look at the threes team and Van Lith, who played at LSU last year, and I love Haley Van Lith. Watched her work out back in the fall.
Yeah, every time I see off that, they could have put her.
There was some, you know, I think if we sat in the room. Okay, and so.
But she might didn't want to be on that either. Though. You gotta look at it like that. She might look at that like, nah, I'm
the
good.
JV team. Yeah, I don't want to be on the JV team.
Ain't doing 3-on-3. Come on.
I think again, and this is. I want you to talk about Grant Hill and the men's side.
Oh,
one thing. Hold on. One thing I do like that Grant and those guys do is that you saw them personally hand deliver their jersey to almost everybody. Right? They've made it a really big deal, and it's collaborative. Him, Jerry Colangelo, obviously, and Coach K, Pop, Grant, those guys are very collaborative with the big-time stars in the league, where there's obvious discussion. There's how can we include you guys? What do you want to be a part of? And I feel like they kind of missed the boat on that with, say, a Caitlin, where if the folks from USA Basketball had flown to Iowa City to meet with her in the middle of the year, hey, look, we want you, 12 player, we probably need to stick to the WNBA for this year. But we'd love for you, for Angel, for Cam, we'd love for y'all to be a part of the Olympic play for us. I don't feel like you turned that down, right? As a kid, I feel like any disagreement with the thought process based on what you see from Grant, and then kind of walk us through how they coordinate with you all at the youth level, man.
I mean, like men's national team and the junior national teams are, we're all in the same family, but it's not like they come to us and say, hey, who do you think we should take? If anything, they say, y'all need to take,
Absolutely. And that's really what I was alluding to. Like, how do y'all, through the vertical integration, how do y'all integrate some of what they do into what y'all do?
The good part about like Grant's around, we do mini camps now, and he's very, especially when we do the ones in with the city of the Final Four, he's very like involved, and like, we got Jay Wright, who's part of the board. He's there. Like, so they have their hand in it. Because they want to see who's next, and a lot of these guys, that play for us at the junior national level, they want to be playing for an Olympic gold medal. And this is the part of the pathway in their eyes. Like, because you look at Jason Tatum, he won 3 gold medals playing for the junior national team, and you look at some of these others, Kevin Durant, all these guys. So a lot of these guys have made it through the pathway of USA basketball before they got to the Olympic part. And so these guys kind of like want to emulate that. And so it's important that the Grant Hills of the world and, Jay Wright and those guys come out and they support the mini camps and they speak to the guys, what USA basketball does for the culture of like that junior national team is amazing. Those kids get so much packed into weekends when they do the mini camps. And then when they get ready to go to training camp and they're selected for a team, man, that's an experience that they'll never, ever forget.
B, you saying she turned down $5 million to play in the Big Three. So I don't think that if they went up there and asked her to play 3-on-3 in the Olympics, she would have done it. But
I wouldn't. That's a slap in the face for Caitlin Clark. That's that. She's good enough. She's good enough to be on that team. But hey, listen. You know what? I'm one of the few that believes that. Coach, you just said that Grant Hill. Who else is on that committee? The one that picked the national team for this one. It's Grant. Who else?
Who's on it now is Grant. Colangelo is retired. Grant is Colangelo right now.
Okay.
Yeah. Grant is Colangelo, and then you got Sean Ford, who's the director, and you got Jim Toohey, who's also a director. But Grant does a lot of the that part of it, because that's what that job entails.
I got a quick question for you, because I got to check my man from VA's brain cells on the last move that he just made. Okay. How do you put Derek White on that team over about 15 other guys in the NBA, specifically Jaylen Brown? Yeah. Come on. Derek's not even – is he a top 25 player in the NBA?
Nah.
No. So why is he on the Olympic team?
Glue guy, locker room guy, maybe.
Hey, so I can't give you a definitive answer on why that was me, because I love Jaylen. Jaylen's a homeboy. Jaylen's great. I think he would have been, ideal, like for especially who he was replacing.
Right.
Whatever Kawhi was bringing, I think Jaylen would have brought it in the same manner, or if not even better in some instances, because he's a little bit younger.
Right.
So it's not without question that that's fair. That he, I thought that he would have been a great fit as well. But I think you got to look at all the dynamics too, because Derek White is a great Popovich guy. He played for Popovich. He also played on the World Cup team back in 21. No, it was 19. He played on the World Cup team. And so he's kind of been ingrained in it since that point. And so when you talk about when we're putting together a team for junior national team, we don't always pick the top 12. We try to pick the right 12. And so that could be a 1-star with some other 5- and 4-star guys, just because that 1-star did what we need him to do in order to feel like we're going to be able to win a gold medal with. And so I can't say that was the logic, but I can say that could have been part of the logic about trying to get those puzzle pieces to fit together in the way they thought they would fit. But, again, I'm a big Jaylen Brown fan. It was a couple other guys that could have got a nod too, as well as Jaylen. So,
bunch of them.
But
Sharman, talk to us real quick. Back to the 17 team you just coached. Smoke going crazy. Talk to us about AJ. Talk to us about Stokes. Talk to us about some of the young men that you had on that roster. Them boys can flat out hoop, man. When I saw Stokes dunk on his teammate, I was going crazy. I'd never seen somebody get dunked on by their own teammate. He never even saw it coming. It was just disgusting work. Talk to us about that, man.
Hey, man,
What's your reaction? What did you do?
That was the best group that I've ever been associated with at USA Basketball. I mean, and the great part about that group, man, you had all those guys you just named, but they were comfortable in their skin and who they were. They didn't go out saying, I got to go show why I'm number one. I got to go show why I'm do this. They all were comfortable and they played the game with joy instead of it being a job. I told them at halftime of one of the games because I felt like, they were not engaged because we were winning by so much. And it's hard. You're up by 50 at halftime. And I say, hey, man, you got to keep playing the right way. They're looking at me like, okay. But what I told them too, though, was I said, you got plenty of time this game going to be a job for you in a couple years. You won't get to play with the same joy that you do now, because in 3 or 4 years, you're going to be on a team and you might be on a 10-game losing streak and the media wearing you out and people saying trade you and you going through an injury. And, that's what a job is. But you need to continue to play this game with joy, have fun, like continue to get the satisfaction of just playing out of it instead of now you got to go do it as part of what you do every day to support your family.
Sharman, did you say that right before it's dunked on old boy? Is that what motivated him to do that? Why did he do that?
It probably was right after it. But those guys are unbelievable, man. But they played it the right way. They played, man. We broke our assist records 3 times over. Like we broke it the first time, and then we broke it the next day. They were so excited about breaking the assist record. And then they broke it again. Then we ended up one game, we had 49 assists.
That's great.
And it was typical of the way they wanted to play. We said this. I said this to them. I said the go-to man is the open man. And I made them understand what that meant. Like, we don't have all y'all are number ones. When you go back to your team, you're going to be the number one. But on this team, the go-to man is the open man. And they bought it, and they were good with that. And like I said, they were comfortable in their own skin and who they were. They didn't have to go out and try to say, oh, I got to show you why I'm number one. I got to show you why I'm number one. AJ didn't average the most points, even though he's the number one prospect on that team. Tyron Stokes came off the bench. He was the 6th man. He bought into being a 6th man. I went to him during training camp because he played for us last summer. And I said, look, man, I'm probably had to bring you off. I need you to come. He said, oh, coach, I'm good with that. He said, I already had been thinking about that. And so he was good with being the 6th man, but he came off the bench and averaged nearly a triple-double. So it was refreshing, man, because, when you go back and you be around kids that are not their caliber, and I'm not just talking about my kids at Pace, but just period, and they say, they give you kickback about how, like they need to be doing. If these boys didn't actually, not one time, they didn't question anything. And these are the next lottery picks, mind you. How in the hell you gonna say that? How you gonna ask me that?
Hey, Smoke, that sounds a lot like something Nick Saban would say, huh, Smoke?
Daggone right.
It brings me to an interesting question for you, Coach. Now, you won 10 state championships in addition to the gold medal. How do you handle parents, when it comes to playing time conversations, when it comes to people not being accepting of roles? We got some coaches who watch this. Kind of give some jewels on how you handle communication with parents, especially when they were unhappy about where their kid was at on the team.
I mean, it's part of it as a coach, and you can't. It's something that you can't get away from, so to speak, because you're not gonna make everyone happy. And I think we all are grown men. We know we're in our jobs, and we know if we're in leadership positions, we're not gonna make everybody happy. But I think if you do what's right by the kids and you do it in a way that, again, I try to be very upfront with parents. That doesn't mean I'm just telling their kid is bad or something like that. I just say, playing time is determined in practice. It's not. We want to win, so we're not gonna leave your kid out of a situation that's gonna allow us not to win. We're not gonna do that. We're gonna put the best player, those guys who have, you know, done what's required or done what we ask, and to a level that makes them indispensable on the court. They're going to play more. The better players are going to play more, and everybody doesn't want to hear that, of course, because they got their own opinions. But I've done different things. But the one thing I tell younger guys is you got to take a step back sometimes from it and kind of put yourself in their shoes. And me being a parent, it gives me an opportunity to do that, because they're just concerned about that one kid. Whereas a coach, you got to be concerned about the 12. And when they're talking to you, they're talking to you about one kid. Yeah, and that's their kid. And so you got to kind of like understand that. And as a parent, it's a little easier for me to understand that and why, it is what it is when it comes to that. But I'd also try to be upfront and transparent with parents. 'Cause I think if the more details they have, meaning like how you do things, when you do things, if they know exactly when to practice, know what these we start fall workouts, how important they are. Are they mandatory? No, they're not mandatory, because we can't make them mandatory by state, but they're mandatory. They're voluntary mandatory. Like if you want to play and if you think you can get by without attending those, good luck. But it's those types of things where you have to be on the same page, and you got to at least they've got to know the details of what you're doing and the whys of why you're doing it. And I think once you establish that type of culture and that type of, it just makes it a little bit. I'm not saying it makes it easier or it makes it, knock out the park to do, but it will make it so that there's a level of respect and trust there. And I think that's because, players and coaches are tied by trust. And I think that's the biggest thing. They got to be able to trust you. And I've like, I've had a parent to say, my son, come on to practice then. I never let nobody come to practice, but I'm gonna let you come today. You come and watch. And I haven't had a parent to take me up on that, the ones I've asked that to, because they don't want to see it. Because if they see it, then it's like, oh my God, they probably go home and beat the kid ass or something.
Coach, here's the crazy thing. The kid ain't showing up to practice, and practicing hard. The parent ain't gonna show up to practice and watch the kid. Parents are a direct reflection of what their kids are.
Yeah, and that's why I haven't had one to take me up on it. I really believe like they haven't taken me up on. I've did it like 3 or 4 times, and I'm like, you are welcome to come to a practice. I want you to see, like, and I think by me saying that, it's like they said, oh, yeah, I'm good. We're good.
Coach, what was the biggest foundation, when you got into high school coaching and you started winning championships? What were some of your pillars, and how did you build the foundation of your program to win so consistently?
Just the hard work, just teaching them about what hard work means, and just being committed, like to hard work. Like I think I didn't get to where I am by, I was some kind of, first round draft pick or anything like that. I just worked my ass off. I mean, I was going to clinics when I was coaching middle school. I was going to coaching clinics. I was coaching middle school. Like I was that serious about it, because I had a goal. I had a dream. And I try to, I tell everybody, I tell my players this too. Y'all work hard, but ain't nobody in this program working harder than me. And I stick to that, because I feel like if I'm working that hard, it's just gonna flow down. And so I believe in hard work, and then uh, you gotta know what you're working hard at. You gotta know what you're working hard for. And I think giving kids a sense of direction of why is the main thing. They got to know why, because kids ask a lot of questions, whether they 3 years old or whether they 13 years old or and you got to know how to give them that why, so they'll know why am I on you like this? You should be glad I'm on you, because if I stop saying anything to you, you're in trouble, don't you? So like it's kind of like one of those things. But I just stress to kids, let's work hard and let's just see where that gets us. because if you commit to that part, if we all commit to working hard, from the coaches to the players, let's just see what that's going to get us. And I guarantee it's going to get us something special, or something that you wouldn't have thought of from a good standpoint. So,
Coach, you know, you got Carl on. Carl's about 800 years old, and he's always talking about what we used to do back in the days, and the athletes aren't the same in terms of their sheer determination and work ethic. Have you seen that difference between the work ethic and athletes 10 years ago to where they're at right now? And why are they so different if they are?
Now, I'll say this. The kids now are, to me, are much more talented, much more skilled. They start at an earlier age. They're doing a lot of things early. But the mental aspect, that their mental toughness is not nowhere near. And I think that's when you say, all right, what generation was better? Or you can get into all those generational questions, but what generation of players did? Like I say, these kids now, you got kids 7 feet. You got Wemby, who plays like a small forward. Like you got all these guys that are, Kevin Durant plays like he can play 1 through 5. He's 6'11", but to me, today's player is not mentally tough as they should be, or that comes with that territory of being a great player, or being a good basketball, or even an athlete. They've been told so many things. And I always say this, that when people tell you got potential, that's stuff you haven't done yet. You haven't done that yet. They're just saying what you can project to be, or projected. It's your performance. That's who you are. So unless you're performing, the potential doesn't mean anything. Don't tell me I got potential, because I haven't done it yet.
That's awesome.
Coach, Smoke talk about the old school, Smoke about the old school. But let's before you get out of here, before I let you go, I want to throw some old school at you, right? You got kids, right?
Yes, sir.
How old are your kids?
15 and 12.
Are they gonna play the new college football game that came out?
My son, he played basketball video games. He played baseball video games. He ain't really got it.
But you do
he'll put a little the football on, the pro, man. But they haven't had college football for a minute. So
but you do allow your kids to play video games, right?
Yeah, he play a video game. Sometimes to his mind, because I don't like it all the time. I really don't. Like I had to get him today. Hey man, you been outside, shoot some shots, get some shots up today. You need to go put your shoes on, get some shots up. Yeah.
Well, Smoke don't let his kids play video games at all. They've never owned a video game system. And that's crazy, dude.
Hey, Smoke,
kids ain't never had sugar.
Can't afford it. I didn't have one growing up. They ain't gonna have one.
Hey, listen, man. Hey, they hate it over there. They hate it over. They go to school and their friends don't even know what they're talking about. The crazy.
Hey, Smoke's kids still read the newspaper, man.
But I will tell y'all this. I will tell y'all this, and this is gonna mess you up. They outlawed marijuana. I mean, they don't do drug testing anymore in college, right? They say the kids can smoke. Almost every college football player today, or a lot of them, at 4:00 when the game came out today, they in their dorm room with their game controller in one hand and they blunt in the other. And they're gonna be up all night. The RAs, the dorm police right now.
Yo, that's crazy.
It's out of control. Everybody, the weed man is on campus and he's making easy money right now.
Easy.
There's no drug testing, right? And
won't nothing bad happen on campus tonight, I can tell you that.
Everybody gonna be locked in their room chilling, man.
Police gonna be like, what's going on? Ain't nobody out here on the streets.
I'll say this real quick, Sharman, we'll let you go. If you follow Georgia football, it's been a tough run for us off the field, man. We've been into some stuff Tonight is the night I can guarantee you won't nothing be going on in Athens. We good. Hey, I will not wake up in the morning to any headlines about us doing anything crazy. Man.
You think?
Hope somebody didn't lose it because they lost the game or something.
Stephen White. Man, come on. Why you got to take away my glimmer of hope, man? I was hoping for a single night where I didn't see a bottom line that involved Georgia floating on my TV screen in the morning.
Teammate knocked each other out because he lost the video game.
Hey, B, if they don't take their car keys from them, there's a chance. They should put them all on mopeds and have them walking, man.
Mm-hmm. Literally, they'll all be on bikes like Debo riding around the campus, man.
Yeah. Go back to old school. Walk the class.
Smoke, how much of that, like, we got kids, like, your son get a DUI, aren't you going to go take his car?
Absolutely. Them keys are mine.
Hey, off the top.
Keys are mine. Well, he'll have an Uber account, but them keys are mine. He's going to get real strong cash.
Yeah.
We're not doing that.
We're not doing that now.
No.
I'm just, that's my thing. Like, I understand people being critical of Kirby right now because of the amount of kids with the DUIs and stuff. But you know he's met with his team. You know he's talked to them. You know he's met with all of them. Man, the parents got a parent at some point.
I tell you like this, Reed, and I love Kirby, and I think he's an outstanding coach, the best coach in college football. If he wasn't winning at the clip that he's winning at right now, institutional control would have been used, and that might have been a way to get him up out of there. If he wasn't winning and doing what they're doing to Georgia. If he was 4-7 last year, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's a national champion. National champions get.
You're going to get that. You're going to get
two
that.
times, Reed. 2 times.
Yeah. Reed, the last game they lost, they rolled up on him.
Well, the University of Missouri is going to win the SEC this year. So, at the end of the day, everybody quiet down. The University of Missouri is going to win the SEC this season.
Don't they pay these guys?
Hold on, man. Let Sharman go before y'all get to this foolishness, man. I see where this is going. Let my man go, bro. Let him go work on something for USA basketball. Y'all about to talk to me about some nonsense. Go ahead and let him go, Reed. Go ahead and let him go.
Coach. Thank you for coming on, my brother.
No, Coach, if you can talk some sense to my man Grant Hill and get my man out there, man. Get Brown out there.
Hey, thank you, Sharman. Great stuff, man. Appreciate you as always, my guy.
All right, man. Y'all take care.
See you soon. Yes, sir. Okay.
All right.
Coach. Hey, man. Missouri. they beating Alabama.
Yep.
In Tuscaloosa.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
By how much? By how much?
A field goal.
Yeah,
walk off field goal to win.
Walk off. You and Drink.
Walk off.
Getting it done. Huh.
Walk off field goal to win.
You got something on that again? You got that barbecue on that again?
Man, you know I'm a betting man.
Strong. You strong with it too. Hey, listen. Like I told you, listen, that weekend's on me. The only thing's on you is your pockets when you had to come up out of there.
Hey, listen.
Hey, if you're watching this, circle the date, October 26th. I had to pull it up. Go ahead. Hey, I don't know where I'll be, but I know I'll be tuned in. I cannot wait. Now, hey, here's the cool thing. As I look through Missouri's schedule, Reed, this looks like a college football caliber schedule. If you can't get in with this schedule, you're never getting in. Wow. Like the Alabama game is the only game, as I scroll through, in which a Brady Cook, Luther Burden, Eli Drinkwitz-led roster might be an under, and the keyword still might. New coach in Tuscaloosa, maybe we call it a Vegas line even. This looks like to speak about people getting fired, Smoke. If somehow Drink doesn't get it done this year, does he ever get it done? Because this looks like the year, Smoke. I love Drink. I love what he's done. This is a top 10 caliber program. Carl Reed should be proud. It feels like the early days of Georgia with Mark Richt when he came from Florida State, and we were rolling, and A.J. Green was there. We all thought it was Georgia to the moon.
Hold, pause for a second. Hit the brakes real quick.
Talk to me, Reed.
Hit the brakes real quick. You said Mark Richt, Georgia rolling.
Hey, hold on. The first couple of years now. Hold on.
I knew you were going.
Hey, hold on. The first couple of years, great season, SEC championship appearances, A.J. Green, Matt Stafford. No, hold on. But that's Missouri to our conversation here. And the playoff at that point wasn't 12 teams, right? The playoff now is 12 teams. So you can make an appearance, if not finish third or fourth in the SEC, and you're going to be guaranteed a spot in the playoff. The league is that strong.
Well, I'm gonna give you a formula of a coach that I just say is real slightly above average to good, and not in the championship category. When you have a number 1 overall pick quarterback, top 5 receiver, defense that's loaded, first round running back on your team, and you don't either get one appearance in the national championship and win one, yeah, I'm solid on you. Mark, I thought, did an outstanding job recruiting in Georgia, but there's a reason why Kirby went over. You saw when the real coach went over there, what happened.
Hey. No disagreement to any of that. Like, to the Drinkwitz discussion, Drink is in that moment where it looks like they could turn the corner. Call Reed.
You know what? Typically, I jump on. I get the shirts made, the fire coats t-shirts made. I can't say I'm going to get a shirt for Drink. Drink is not in that category for me. He's not a championship coach. He's a good coach, but he ain't in that category. So if they don't win it, they win 8 games, 9 games. That's Missouri football. You walk away and you cheer them on and say, great job. There's no expectation for Missouri to make the playoff. And if they do, everyone will be shocked.
They finished in the top 10 last year.
Here's the crazy part.
Once every blue moon, every squirrel finds a nut every now and then.
Woo! Even a broken clock is right at least 2 times a day.
This to me though, this is deeper than Missouri, Alabama, Georgia, right? Missouri is not only winning, they're winning with St. Louis kids.
Mm-hmm.
St. Louis versus everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what happened to Ryan Wingo. My bad. Too soon.
It's like you go into that funeral service. There's a moment of silence. Just pause.
I was at the Ryan Wingo commitment when he committed.
He's hurt too.
Talk to us about it, Reed.
Hurt.
I didn't think they was gonna let us out of there, man. I thought it was gonna be. What's the Royal Rumble when they bring 30 punches in and they throw?
He called me locked in the closet and said, "Hey, Smoke, get the boys out here for me." I don't know.
That's hilarious. So, in all seriousness, all jokes aside, right? You know me. I show love where I feel like it's due. Top 10 finish last year. You return Burton, you return Cook. It's just the momentum seems to be trending up. It has that now or never. Steve Spurrier, South Carolina. It has that feel like this is the moment in which Missouri, because there are 12 spots. The Smoke, if there weren't 12 spots, I wouldn't say any of this is not relevant, right? But because there are 12 spots, and because this might be the lightest schedule, and for as hard as Florida's schedule is, this schedule that I'm looking at for Missouri is equally as light. This is if there's a year, Carl, can we agree on that? If there's a year for it to get done, if there's a 10-2 year to be had, doesn't even mean you have to make the SEC championship game. Because only 2 people make that. I think 4 people from the SEC, if not 5, are going to get in. That's my
give me your 4 teams from the SEC that gets in.
I think you're counting Bama and Georgia off the top, just off the strength of the muscle. And then from there, though, you can start tossing. I'll be interested to see how good Nico is with Tennessee. You got Missouri. Obviously, you got the whole West, and that to the Royal Rumble discussion. Not to mention Texas, right, who's there now. Oklahoma. I mean, it's a literal Royal Rumble, but Missouri doesn't have any of those people. Like, there's no Texas, there's no Oklahoma.
So your boy Harry Douglas, an Atlanta native.
Yeah.
Shout out to Harry Douglas.
Yeah.
He said there's going to be 4 SEC teams in the playoffs for sure. You want to know the teams he said?
Get it to me.
Texas.
Yeah.
Georgia.
Yeah.
Missouri.
Yeah.
And Ole Miss.
Ooh.
Okay.
That's what Harry Douglas said. OG. Harry Douglas.
I respect his mind.
Okay. Think about this.
Those aren't that it's not bad, right?
Not so bad.
But where I'm going to disagree with Harry, there's a head-to-head matchup there. You know, the boys, then they got to come through Bryant Denny.
October 26th.
You know, and
October 26th.
Yeah, and you and I'm not gonna say I don't do bold predictions. I just go and watch the game. I'm just happy that we can even get in the same stadium and play with Missouri. But
Oh.
I can see a place where Bama doesn't make it this year. I can see that. That's not far-fetched what Harry's saying. I mean, if you look at it on paper right now, Missouri should be in, and the only L that they should have on their schedule is Bama. But Bama might catch two. You know, so he ain't off. I can dig it, but
I think the SEC gets 5 when it's all said and done. I think the strength of the league. I think you're going to get 5. Outside shot at 6.
How many get from the Big Ten? How many get from the Big Ten?
2. Give me Ohio State and whoever else.
No.
Give me 2.
Ohio State is the front runner, are they not?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Give me them and then whoever else. Just give me 1.
Oregon, Ohio State. That's it. So that's 7.
I mean, it gets tricky after that, man. To me,
I think Miami represents the ACC.
And I think either way, they only get 1. It's either Miami or Dabo, or Florida State, whoever it is. They only get 1. They're not getting a second. They're not getting a second. Still got to take. Hey, can your boy Prime get it done, Reed? Can he get it done? Can he get it done?
The national championship game is going to be Colorado versus Missouri.
The Carl Reed Bowl.
He's going to be standing on the 50 with it one leg on one side and the other one on the other side.
As he should. hey, Smoke, he going to get one of them jerseys. It's going to be the half and half, Joe. Luther Burden and Travis Hunter, dog.
Stand there like this. You celebrating either way, champ. You celebrating either way.
Hey, answer this though, Reed. Who do you think out of the Big 12? Who do you think emerges from the Big 12? Because somebody gets out. Who gets out?
Colorado.
Okay. I'm with
that. I'm rolling with my guy to the wheel.
I love Colorado. Smoke. They were the most compelling 4-8 team in history. I was watching every game. For real,
that's the easiest way to take a shot at somebody. They are one of the best 4-8 teams I've ever seen in my entire life. They didn't get to the bowl game, but man, they were close.
I'm actually serious though. Like I'm laughing because you're laughing, but like it was good TV. Every week was like, okay, like they were rolling at first, and then they stopped rolling, and the Shador got hurt, and the offensive line got banged up, and the games for the most part were close. It was like, yo, can they find a way to stop the bleeding and get to 6-6? Like I think all of us would have said that a 6-6 season on August 1st last year would have been a huge success. And you were trying to see if they could stop the bleeding long enough to get to 6-6. It was really interesting.
I'm gonna say it again. The formula for me, if you have this, you have to win 10 games. If you have a first-round quarterback, a first-round skilled player, either receiver or corner, and you have that, yeah, that's easy. That's automatically 6 games. 6. That's 6. Your quarterback is that good. You win 6.
Those lines were. I mean, and Carl and I spoke about this back in even before the season.
Anybody worried about the? Worried about the offensive line?
Listen, it was. And I don't feel. Hold on. Let me say this as an innocent bystander. I feel no ways. I like Coach Prime. I respect what they've done out there. I'm not plugged into the situation. That line was like jailbreak, though, man. Right. They all said, "What?" And it was just, you remember how you used to rush people with Tecmo Super Bowl? Lawrence Taylor would just slide him.
I want to agree with you, but I'm not going to. And again, Carl knows how I feel about offensive line. I think it's an important piece if you're talking about championship and how good your team is. But your quarterback has a lot to do with getting sacks. Everyone always wants to put it on the quarterback. No. I mean, on the offensive line, you got to put a lot of that on your quarterback. Shador got to get the ball out of his hand at a faster clip. If you don't want to get hit, throw the ball away. Simple as that. If you hold on to the ball, you're going to get hit. And I get what you're saying, but I didn't see many jailbreaks. I saw him holding on to the ball a little bit too long.
Ooh, you got to watch that tape. We got to get on PFF and have a watch party.
Ooh. Hey, we need to broadcast that live on here.
Reed, again, we talked about this again. I'm not saying that offensive line was great at all. They weren't even good. Okay? They were okay at best.
No, they were a little worse than that.
All right. So go back and see how many times Jalen Milroe got sacked last year. He was a high clip sack guy, wasn't he? Yes.
Nowhere near. Hey, see, this
I
what
never
you do.
said anywhere near.
Bro, this what he do. Let me tell you something.
It be you got a computer in front of you. Go what
I'm pulling it up
This
right now.
is what he do.
Pull
Hey,
it up, man.
the people that's watching
Pull it up.
don't know football well enough to know that he just finessed them.
Nah, go ahead.
Yeah, he just did.
Go ahead.
He just tried to
Milroe
finesse
took 44 sacks last year. Milroe
Mhm.
took 44 sacks.
Mhm.
Let me see what my young boy Shador do. Hold on.
He took 44, right?
Took 44.
And was in the semifinals of the national championship. Keep going.
You talking about a dual threat guy?
I'm not going for that. I'm just asking a simple question. Your man probably got sacked.
Hey, Shador with 52.
Oh.
Hey, now hold on. Here's the most impressive number to me, though, to your point, Smoke. And obviously, this doesn't account for how quickly he got it out, right? But I thought Shador, again, I'm a novice. You boys are experts here. But it looked like jailbreak. He still threw for 3,200 yards, 27 touchdowns, only 3 picks. That's the number that jumps out to me on paper. Only 3 picks at 63%. With jailbreak on what felt like every play after those first 3 games of the season. By the time Travis Hunter got knocked out in the Colorado State game, it was on and popping, but for the wrong reasons.
Yeah. So all I'm gonna say is you said 52 to what? 40 what?
44. 52
okay,
to 44.
Good. I'm not really good at math, but that's 8. All right.
20%.
You're talking about they're playing against better quality, right? So 8 sacks. That's a difference between their offensive line against
better quality. The SEC was better than the Pac-12 last year.
Yeah, how many players got drafted out of the Pac-12? Or the Pac, whatever you call it.
So you doing this? You moving the goalposts, right?
So how many teams out the Pac-12 was represented in the Final Four?
One of them played the national championship game.
Okay, that's one, and one SEC team, right?
It was in the goal. Yeah, the team was always there.
Right. So all I'm saying to you is this: you want to move the ball. I'm not moving the goalpost. One guy got sacked 44 times, right? And took his team. Just let me finish. Let me get this off. And took his team to the semifinals and was 1 play away from playing in the finals, right? Championship game. The other guy took 52 sacks, right? 8 different, and only won 4 games. Not one time did you ever hear Nick complain about our guys aren't good enough. We got to get this fixed. My quarterback's getting hit. No. We just put nose straight ahead, eyes locked in, and we went to work.
Reed, I got you here. The headline, April 27th, 2024. The Crimson Tide had 10 total players selected across 3 days of this year's NFL draft.
I mean, that's business as usual for Alabama. So, but what I'm saying is,
and that's just one team out the SEC. We ain't talking about like the other one.
But 0 for Colorado. So whose team was better?
Here's the context.
Bama was better. But we're talking about the clips of taking sacks. Sacks, if you want to get the ball out of your hand and don't want to get hit, throw it away.
You're trying to compare Milroe to Milroe as a dual threat guy. Over half of his sacks are on design runs that were tackles from loss behind the line.
You don't have you listen, Reed. You're just saying that because it sounds good. You don't know that for a fact. Your man holds the ball too long, right? That has nothing to do with anything that we're talking about other than if you don't want to get hit and you're a quarterback. Anyone listening to me out there, if you don't want to get hit, throw the ball away. If you don't want to get hit, make quicker decisions. If you don't want to get hit, check to the right protection and understand who's coming free, and you handle that free blitzer. It's called football intelligence. And if you're playing at a high level and you don't want to get your face knocked off and you have dreams of playing in the NFL, you start playing from the shoulders up. You put the video games down. You get out of the videos. You stop training with everybody. Cam Ward told you, bro, it's hot out here. Okay?
Hey, listen.
And you get into your playbook and understanding why. And I love Shador. He's going to be one of the top quarterbacks taken. If he would have came out last year, would have been in the first round as well. Not knocking him for his game. All I'm saying is if you don't want to get hit, we understand the liability and how good offensive linemen are, And if they're not good, if your quarterback's that good, you ain't talking about your offensive line. Quarterbacks make offensive lines look better, not the other way around.
Hey, Smoke, real quick before we get out of here, I got a question for you. You brought up a name. I need to talk about it.
Go ahead.
He's on my dynasty fantasy roster in my minor leagues right now. Cam Ward. Talk to me about Cam Ward. What do we have here this year? What can I expect from Cam Ward?
Hey, listen. Last year when we had the quarterback conversations early on, it was Caleb, Drake May. There was no mention of Jaden Daniels, J.J. McCarthy, Michael Penix, Bo Nix. Those were the names. By the end of this year, Cam Ward will be in the conversation of one of the quarterbacks that might be taken in the first round.
That's what I love to hear. You just made my whole entire day, Smoke.
And the reason why I'm saying that, like, clip it off his skill set. His skill set is what it is. And he's not the 6-foot quarterback, but ultra competitive. And when I heard him getting after your nephew, Carl, in terms of, and it wasn't nothing about showing somebody up. It was more of a young man understanding leadership and what it takes. And he's willing to challenge someone, not in a negative way, but saying, hey, bro, we working. This is what we do. Let's work. It was nothing about criticizing. All that shows me is his ability to lead in critical situations. And when you have that, regardless of how Mario Cristobal wants to fumble the ball on fourth down, I think he can get it out of his hand and get it right.
Hey, he's going to always take a shot at a coach. One thing he's going to do in every situation.
Coach, I was a former coach. I ain't taking a shot. I'm telling you the truth.
I'm still in disbelief that actually happened. Like, one of my buddies is the Georgia Tech guy. Graduated from there. He texts me. He knows I don't be watching no Georgia Tech games. Sorry, Britt Key. We respect you, but it's not how I'm spending my time. He goes, you'll never guess what just happened.
Last thing we're going to touch on before we get out of here.
This is great.
We had Brennan Marion on our show on Unfiltered Friday. Smoke, you asked him a big-time question.
Go back and watch that entire show.
Fantastic show.
24/7 Sports YouTube channel, Unfiltered, the Brennan Marion interview. It should be up there. You asked him about his tattoos and about people feeling about his images of tattoo. Kind of break down to the audience how he answered that and what you were trying to get to and extract from him on that question.
The question I asked him was, he has a neck tattoos on his hands, and I was just asking about his outward appearance and his tattoos. Did that not allow him to get opportunities to interview and even get jobs? And he broke it down as far as just saying, hey, listen, man, when I was young, I thought I was going to be a second-round draft pick. I wasn't worrying about how I looked. I never thought that I had to get to the third quarter in life and have a job outside of me playing football. I thought I was going to be a millionaire. But as I got to that, life kind of hit me hard. I got the ACL injuries when I was undrafted with the Miami Dolphins. And then I got into coaching. And then he had some bundles along the way of people looking at him and judging him and not allowing to hear how intelligent he is. How he came up with an offense that's putting the world on fire, the go-go offense that can't be stopped. And you have people that looks like him. And he didn't even share that situation, that wouldn't even interview him just because he wouldn't represent their brand as well. But like he said, there are young people, parents and players that are tatted up that he's now sharing his story saying, hey, man, you might need to slow down because the tattoo and the outward appearance that you have right now, there's not a lot of people that's willing to listen to you, not go beyond looking at the book, actually going into those chapters and reading those pages to understand how many layers you have upon who you are as yourself. And I just thought that he's incredible. Now, I do think that I don't think he's going to have a chance of coaching in college in terms of a head coach, just because there's not a lot of people that's accepting to that. But I could see him being an NFL head coach, coordinating a couple of years because he is highly intelligent. He gets it. He knows how to coach. He knows how to communicate. He knows how to teach. And young people love him. If I was an AD, I would interview him in a heartbeat. Because the age of coaches having ties on and coming through there with khaki pants. Man, them kids ain't looking for that, B. They looking for the person that they can relate to. They're not like us, Carl. They're not keeping their feelings inside. They actually care about who's coaching them. And B cares about his kids and developing his young people.
And they're not scared to express their opinion about who should be coaching them.
No.
Also, they're not afraid to talk about who they want. Brennan's one of the top coaches in the country. I mean, when you think about the amount of NFL teams and Power 5 college teams who have come to visit him and call him about his offense, the go-go offense, and what he's been able to do with that and how he's been able to get that, moving in the right direction. I mean, he's an offensive genius, and we throw that word around a lot, probably too much in football, but he has been one of the most innovative masterminds. I was on the phone with him when the people from EA Sports called him about putting the go-go offense in the new college football game, and they wanted to talk to him about it, and it was actually other big-time coaches who said that needed to be part of, the play calling system in that deal. So when you just think about Brennan's a big-time coach, and he's ready for his opportunity.
Yeah, Carl, like I said, I think he would be an outstanding coach in college or the NFL. But we just got to look past what we believe a coach should look like, because there's a lot of pretenders out there. And I know, Carl, you get on me all the time about getting on coaches, but I coach as well too. A lot of those guys are presentation coaches. And what I mean by that, B, is they'll go in there with that big book, and it sounds real, real good when they get through their presentation. Recruiting, I'm going to recruit a kid that has 2-parent households. Academic is going to be exactly what we demand, and we're going to practice hard. And then you get to the fact, and like, do you even care about those kids? When you're recruiting them, do you know their background, their situation, that they call you and have a conversation with you 5 years down the line? Are you going to remember them? Are you going to show up to their wedding? Are you going to be a godfather of their sons? Are you going to recruit their kids? You know what I mean? And when you talk to guys that Brennan's coach, that's his family. And I don't think you get more, or you want more out of a coach that takes time out for you, extend himself to you before he starts talking about, did you get to practice today? What are we going to do when they go 3-by-1? Nah, get to know me, who I am as a person first. And if you go back to everywhere that he's been, from William and Mary, Howard, Pitt, Texas, his players love him. And he checks in on them. And that's when I know that you're a real coach. The same way I check in on with Coach Sweeney. Real coaches, because they are real people and they care about who you are as a person. You'll get the wins and the losses. But if an AD does not interview him for a big-time job, shame on them. And if they don't want to do that, I would say, my man, it's time to take this thing to the NFL. Because in the league, they ain't looking at what you look like with the tattoos. It's the W's. It's all that counts. And he has NFL and big-time coaching all over him, if he does not get an interview for a big-time job.
Here's an interesting take, I think, Smoke, to the NFL discussion. You look at Antonio Pierce with the Raiders, and one of the first things I noticed, last year when he was serving as interim, my man got the earrings on. The earrings is good. They dancing on the screen. What? And that's not something that you would get in today's college football landscape. You're not going to see a coach with I call the Jimmy Butlers, man. You're not going to see a coach with the Jimmy Butler earrings on. But it was cool to see, to talk about relating to the players and very authentic, not doing that just to be a clown, right? But it's just what you do. You wear earrings, or you wear cool shoes or sneakers, or whatever it is that you do. And I think we're seeing some of that cultural shift. I bring up Antonio Pierce to just say that I don't feel like we're far away. And maybe in college just a little bit further, maybe it's not. But I think Deion Sanders, and obviously Deion's resume is incredible as a player to get to this point. But his transition from Jackson State to Colorado, and if he can make one more transition, taking them from a singular win to 4, if he can get them to a bowl game this year, and forbid he gets them further than that, but if he can just show the progress to get them to a bowl game with the sneakers that are selling and the Coach Prime and just all of the aura now that's around Colorado football, honestly, that's good for the game, right? You're not going to have that many people that have Deion's resume. I understand that. But just in terms of going outside of the box a little bit, getting to people that look a little different, sound a little different, maybe talk a little different even in press conference interviews, but still understand how to be professional, how to go fundraise, how to generate NIL dollars, how to do all those things. I think that Brennan Marion is one of those types of guys. And obviously talking with Coach this year, and even about Ricky White, who had such success for him. That's an Atlanta guy, right? That's a guy from the state of Georgia. And just being able to kind of see, and I think Carl's always had a really good feeling, and he and I have had great discussions about who could be next, whether it be players, whether it be coaches. Obviously, Carl was really high on Dion at Jackson State. He was one of the people there on site way before any conversations about Colorado or any other college, man. So I think just y'all being forefront enough to get Brennan on the show, give him that opportunity, and then obviously he did what he does, which is came prepared, got to it, and now everybody's talking about the go-go in July.
Well, listen, go because it's DC DMV. We already know what it is. But
All right, Wale.
But Carl, the fact that Nick Saban retiring, I don't think people understand like what happened. That when Nick retired and said I can't and I won't deal with NIL. And these kids come into my office, that was a cultural shift in the old school coaches. Do as I say, and if you don't, get off my team. Well, that avenue or that lane that you're driving that bus in, them kids are saying, all right, I'm gone.
Yeah, they're not dealing with it no more.
They're not dealing with it anymore. But so the new refreshing culture, young coaches with energy, innovative offense that can get 3 receivers involved, your 2 running backs involved, and they're all of them be happy, and then be able to connect with you culturally and understand who you are. Like he said in one of his speeches, he said, there's a lot of kids that got tattoos like I do. Mm-hmm. That's a conversation piece. The parents are tatted up. Like the kids and their parents are going to the parlor getting tattoos together. Mm-hmm. So we're the ones, the old heads, the guys with the gray hair like me and you, Carl, are the ones that's looking like, if coach comes into my living room and he has tattoos, like them days are done. You coming in like, yo, what tattoo you got? I got one too. Where you get yours at? So Coach Marion he's locked into what's going on. It's going to take the right AD in the right place to give him the opportunity. And when he does get that opportunity, Carl, listen, I'm gonna go up to every game, and he in the playoffs.
Yeah, he gonna go.
He gonna get kids to come play for him. NIL ain't gonna be a problem. He's not going to have a problem getting entertainers and personalities on the sideline because that's what it is now. Mm-hmm. If you don't got the culture showing up to on your team, you don't have these young kids. Mm-hmm. And it's all likes, all colors. That's why Prime got it jumping out there. Absolutely. It's a reason. It's a cultural move.
Hey, don't forget about Quavo on the sidelines with Kirby Smart.
We go, hey.
Nico.
So B, we're about to shut it down. What you got this week? Where you gonna be at? Where can people find you?
I'm in the office Tuesday, Wednesday, putting out the hits for 24/7 Sports, putting out some hits for ProspectsNation.com. Definitely have an episode on the Brandon Clay Scouting Show talking about what I just saw in Ohio as well. Make sure y'all tap in all socials at Brandon Clay PSB, and then I'll be back on the road again, Chicago, Chi-Town way. Angel Reese, where you at? I'm outside. Hey, go ahead and call Lil Dirt. Call everybody. Tell them to pull up, man. G Herbo. Hey, tell them to pick me up in the cyber truck with y'all, man. I'm out there.
Big, she said she ain't flying y'all dudes out, man.
Hey,
something else coming. She ain't flying y'all out.
I already got the plane ticket. I'm gonna be on the ground. I just need to ride in the back seat. I just need to ride in the Epalepa luxury. You know what I'm saying?
Smoke, what you got going on?
Reed, we got it cracking on the Filtered, man. Wednesdays and Fridays on 4, man. 247sports.com. That's what we doing it at, man, on our sports page. Reed, but you gotta let them know though. We have some people that's beating us up trying to get on the show to do some of these interviews and come check in with us on Filtered.
We do.
Reed, we got to put that poll out, man. We got some heavy hitters. We got to give the people what they want.
We gonna put a poll out and see who people want to see on the show. We got some.
Give the people what they want, Reed.
We're going to give them what they want. I'm going to put it out there this Wednesday on Unfiltered on the 24/7 Sports YouTube channel. We got Brandon Harris, the general manager from the University of Texas. Pulling up on us. So he's going to talk a little bit of that Texas football, another playoff team. Is Quinn Ewers the one, or is he the 2 or the 3?
They got one out there, Charles. Got one out there, Carl.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that on on Wednesday. And Clay, since you brought it up earlier, I got to see how my man Ryan Wingo is doing down in Texas. You know,
They're good, man. They're good.
Hey, Carl, get over it, man. The man wanted real barbecue, so he went down to Texas.
Oh, don't you dare do
No,
that.
hey, that was nasty on the way out.
Like
That was disgusting on the way out.
Oh my God. I'm on you. Hey guys, we out, man. Enjoy your night.
B, take care, fam.